Hey guys, it's Grace here, and welcome back to the Addicted to Healing podcast. In today's episode, we are literally outside in nature, and I am actually recording from Runyon Canyon here in LA. I think it's like my second time here. My first time I came was last year on my birthday, which was also just my first time in LA in the first place. That was my little birthday present to myself. I came with my family, and we stayed with a friend, and it was really, really cool. And it's officially been over a month since I've officially moved here, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I haven't really been telling you much about my stay here. I did mention in one video where I told you guys that I moved here that I was staying in an Airbnb for a little bit, but I ended my lease with that, and it was like one of those things where you could have like a real lease with the agency that runs that place and just pay rent like every single month, but I just knew kind of like 3 weeks in that I wasn't going to stay there long term. I mean, obviously it wasn't going to be long term, but like, I mean, a temporary long term. And I wasn't bugging about my stay ending like within a couple weeks anyways. So now I've moved myself back into a hostel, which I did mention in that video too, that's where I stayed for the first 4 days before I got into my Airbnb. It was a hostel, and it was pretty nice. It was in downtown. The one I'm at right now is actually on Hollywood Boulevard, which is like so much better, and I really liked downtown, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really get to see much of it my very first time here in LA last year, but when I stayed in the hostel, it was a really good experience. I met a lot of really cool people from literally all over the world, which I'm really shocked is not what happened on my very first time I came to LA, or even my second time. I came with my family again just a couple months ago, like in September, and we went out, but like I swear, like we weren't meeting anybody, and I mean that was kind of just like a weird trip overall anyways. But since coming here officially on my own now, it's been a much better experience than both of those trips combined, and I honestly have that to thank to myself, I think, just for taking the leap of faith and having a lot of courage to come here, even though it was really, really scary, and I did not have like a lot of support coming with me. It's literally just been me the whole time, and I kind of left in secret. I didn't tell anyone I was leaving until I was actually gone, because I, for one, kind of didn't really think I'd really go, because I'd been telling myself I'd come out here for so long. Like I really wanted to move immediately, like last year, because of my friend that stayed on Hollywood Boulevard. He has his own place, but then later on down the line, after getting to know him some more, I realized I don't really want to live with that person. So, yeah, I kind of had to figure things out from there, hence why I stayed in the hostel and the Airbnb, and we're back in a hostel again. And I'm really, really loving the hostel. It's only been 2 days so far of being there, but like yesterday was a great day. Yesterday was my first official day. I came in the night before. I think it's a Thursday right now, so I got in on Tuesday night, and I just literally came in there to sleep. But yesterday was Wednesday, and I wasn't really up for most of the day, really. I think I was just still tired from like settling in. But I did go out earlier in the day. I walked down the Walk of Fame, and I actually got a little street interview, because they were just interviewing people, I think for Jimmy Kimmel or something. I don't know. It was really cool. They just asked me like the most random funny questions that I did not expect, and I'm not sure if it's gonna air, but if it airs, that's gonna be really, really cool. And yeah, that's just like another thing that was really cool that I've done so far since coming here all by myself, and just trusting my intuition and believing that I really need to be here, because I know that where I was coming from, there's nothing going on, and I just wanted better for myself, and I wanted a life that was just so much more fulfilling. And I've always just wanted to be just seen a lot more, and not just really seen in the public eye, but also just seen for like who I am as a person, because like for so long I've been realizing actually like this move has been so fucking healing for me already. Within just a month, I've done so much healing from where I came from back in Louisiana, and I always knew that place was super corrupt, full of like people that just don't believe in stuff like this. They don't have big dreams. All they know is just work, sleep, and die. And I always knew there was so much more to life than that, and always wanted so much more for myself, of course. But since being here and just having a lot more time to myself than I was before, and I've always had, well, really, like, a lot of time to myself my entire life, but, like, within the last couple months, like, and all the crazy stuff going on in my life, I actually was not able to spend a lot of time alone. I mean, I wasn't going out with friends that much, or meeting new people, but, like, my home life was just very, very crowded, and it just felt very, like, more trapping than it ever felt before, and I've always felt super trapped in my life, especially with just being stuck in the place that I grew up in, that hometown, like, never really felt like a home for me. And obviously I just always been felt more called to come to LA, or just somewhere much bigger than that, somewhere much bigger than what I'm used to. And I always knew it'd be such a big change here, but, like, it's the exact change I was fucking craving, and I always knew that my entire life, even before I got here. And that's why I was so happy to come here in the first place on my birthday. And I've never, like, really regret anytime I've been here. And it's been such a challenging journey, though, I will say. Not just because, like, I'm here by myself, or that, like, I didn't have as much money that I wanted to come here moving with, or, like, know exactly what my next steps were when getting here. All I knew was really to just get out and just get somewhere better, you know? But besides all of that, just all the alone time I finally got back to myself, I had really been realizing how, like, just how terrible, like, things really were back home. And like I said, I always knew it was really, like, a bad place full of bad people, and just nobody really getting me for who I am, and understanding the things that I want out of life and the kind of life I want to live. Like, and I knew I'd been used to that for such a long time, but I don't think I really realized how bad it was really getting to me until I finally got away from it. And I'm very, very happy and glad and grateful to be away from it right now. Like, I've never been more grateful for anything in my life right now than this move. And I had felt such a strong urge to come here, like, really in September. Like, obviously, like I said, it's my dream to move here, right, and just live here and have the best life ever. But, like, in September, after going through, like, the worst breakup I ever had in my life, I knew that, like, I just really wanted to get away. And I'd always been wanting to get away, of course, but at that point in time, like, I, didn't have a relationship. None of my friends were really around much when I really fucking needed them, and I just couldn't see myself making new friends in that town anyways. Like, I'm 22 right now, not in college. If I was in college, I don't really think I'd be making many friends, not in that town at least. And I, like, didn't want to get another job because I had just quit a restaurant job right before that breakup because it was really draining, and just the hours were terrible, the pay was terrible, the customers were just sucking the life out of me, and I just didn't want to return to working in restaurants ever again for, like, ever anyways. So I was just really, really stressed out about, like, what I'm gonna do for money, and, like, my home life situation, because I had just moved back in with my mom, and, like, I was just living with that person I was in a relationship with, and just really didn't know, like, where to go other than just somewhere I really, really wanted to go, which was LA, of course. And, like, in September, after that breakup, that was the strongest I'd ever felt like I really needed to get away and just be on my own and do my own thing. And it's honestly, like, I actually kind of planned that really before the whole breakup happened, before the whole relationship happened anyways. Like, just a couple months prior to getting into that relationship with that person, I had been looking at Airbnbs just for myself to go to and stay in the summer, because I just heard something about that on TikTok for the first time, that, like, some guy did that. He rented out someone's RV for a couple months in LA until he was able to get his own place. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't know you could do that on Airbnb. I thought you could only do, like, a little, like, 1 or 2 week vacation thing there. But after hearing that, I was like, wait, maybe that's what I need to do. And I knew I was gonna try to figure that out somehow. And then I got into that relationship and got really, really swept up in it. And obviously that's why it had to end, because that was not supposed to be my destiny. I was not supposed to be so wrapped up in love that I forget about the life I'm trying to build for myself, that I forget about all my big dreams, and that there is so much more to life than a relationship. But also at the same time, I can have a really great relationship, the relationship of my dreams, and that was just not the one for me, even if I thought that it was at a point in time. And that's okay. Like, I don't blame myself for feeling that way. I'm not mad at myself. I'm very indifferent to that time right now, okay? But yeah, so honestly, this was something I really needed to do for a long time anyways, since I already had kind of like a mental plan for it a couple months prior to actually getting the strong, like inner urge and desire to really just go for it full speed ahead, coming out of the ending of that relationship and the ending of all my friendships. And then things just getting worse at home as time went on, because obviously I didn't leave in September. I was just insecure about like not having enough money, and possibly, you know, things not working out at that time if I went, even though that was like the strongest feeling I had to go at the time. And it's not really like the feeling weakened over time. I just kind of continued to settle in the life I knew I no longer wanted to live. And like, not like I was trying to make peace with it or anything, but I was definitely like just not wanting to try and give myself my all at that point in time, even though I knew I really, really needed to. And there were so many things that kept piling on, like one after another, to like reinstill in me that I just really need to go and do this for myself and see what fucking happens anyways. Like, and I never really doubted that like this would be a bad thing for me. I like, along with the strong desire to come here, I just also had like the strongest like faith that like it would work out, because like I'm such a believer that like if you really want something, it's because it wants you back too. Like if you want to go somewhere, if you want to be something, if you want to do some type of work, like it's because it wants you to do that too. Like that is the universe or whatever like urging you to go and do it, because you're supposed to fucking do it. Like I really feel like things call you and choose you just as much as we choose them. Like it's the same energy. And you know, the more you ignore the things you want to do, like the more time you fucking regret wasting not doing them. And that is how I was feeling a little bit at first. When I first got here, I was just kind of like, damn, like I can't believe I made this so much harder for myself with all this time I spent not choosing myself and not going after the things I want in life, and just not going to the places I want to go. Like, what was I staying for? Like, yeah, I was scared to like leave behind everything I knew, even if I kind of fucking hated everything I knew and kind of hated everyone I knew. And like I hated my life so much back in my hometown, and I'm not from a pretty town like at all. And like even just like growing up, like I really was watching my city die. Like all the fun things we had going on there, like we didn't have much, but we had some cool things as a kid. And just like as I got older into my teenage years, like they were all just disappearing. That place was literally turning into a ghost town. And then I just also was starting to like wake up more, I guess, to just how terrible that place was and all the people in it. And I just started having a lot more bad experiences with the people I knew in that town anyways. And just everything I was doing, like I just started to grow more and more resentment towards it. My job, the people around me, the things to do in the town. Like there was like, it got to a point where the only fun thing you could really do is just go out to eat with your friend. And like all the places I liked going, like just kind of became stale after a while, or just closed down. And like it just really seemed like that city was pushing me out of itself anyways. Like it's like my own fucking city was telling me to like get the fuck out, Grace. And I'm glad I fucking listened, man. Like I still don't really know what like my next day looks like here every day that I'm here, but I'm really fucking glad to be here in the first place, specifically for all of that healing. And I mean, also just like look the fuck around me. Like look at like the fucking background of this video. I'm in such a beautiful part of the earth right now. Like how could you ever fucking complain about this? Like we don't have shit like this back home. Like I'm from like the flattest fucking place on earth. Like we have like a big hill there, I guess, and they kind of call it a mountain. I don't even know what it's called, but like that, it ain't no fucking mountain. It's barely a fucking hill. Like it's barely a fucking hill. Like I'm sure I've never seen it in real life, but I wouldn't put too much fucking faith on that shit. But like yeah, like anyways, like besides all the fucking attractions and stuff here, like I said, I've been doing a lot of fucking healing, and it's crazy how much I did like in a month. I feel a lot fucking lighter. I feel like a lot better of a person, and like definitely a lot more sure in myself and who the fuck I am, man. And like I just really, like I said, like I knew that like everyone was like not like me and didn't fucking get me. But like at the same time, I still feel like I was kind of oblivious to like a lot of it, like a lot more than I realized. And maybe that's just because I kept trying to make peace with all these people, and like, because I know that like I, would get lonely and like just wanted some friends around and shit. And so of course I would just try to keep anyone around who was there, even if that meant like kind of, changing myself a little bit around them just so they'd still accept me. And I had been kind of used to just being not accepted my whole life, but I guess I kind of forgot that that's a really bad thing to do to yourself, to just shapeshift so fucking much just so you can have a friend, just so you can have like people to hang out with and do stuff with. Because that's like when I was like 18, 19, 20, that's like all I really fucking wanted, was just to like have people to go and hang out with and do stuff with, because I'd be so fucking bored. And I've always been a super bored person my entire life. Like I should have known that like I would have had that issue with like just trying to find people to hang out with. But like it's just like, damn, like I know I'm also like super creative, so it's like not like I wasn't creating or anything. I would always be creating, like whatever it is, videos, music, whatever. But it's like at the same time, like I could have been doing so much fucking more, and I could have had so much more confidence in it, since obviously that's what I want my career to be. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And like I would tell people, my dreams, my goals and stuff, and like they were never like mean to me about it, but it's like, dude, like you could always tell like the undertones. Like even if they seemed supportive of it, they didn't really fucking believe in it at the same time. Like, and like I caught on to that pretty quick, but like I was still just kind of like making excuses for it at the same time, and just being like, oh well, they're like still a nice person, I still like who they are, I fucking accept them for who they are and whatever they want to do with their life. And yeah, like that's cool and all, but like that's just me as a fucking person, like I don't have to be like that just to like have a friend. And I'm really understanding now what it means to like just actually show up as yourself, and then you will attract people that are actually like you and the people you want to attract into your life. And I'm not saying that like that's like happened just quite yet, but like I can feel it fucking happening now, and I really like have a deeper understanding of that quote. And like I've always heard that for like a long time now, and I thought I was living by that rule. I thought that I was being myself a lot of the time, but I really fucking wasn't. And it's crazy, like I've just been in such shock for like the last month. Like every week I've just learned something fucking new about myself that I just wasn't as aware of as I thought I was up until now. And I really do think like the change of environment has a lot to do with that, because I swear, man, even if I had my own place to stay back in my hometown, I still think I would have been so surrounded by all the corruption there. Like even if I didn't hang out or talk to anybody, or even if I didn't hang out with or talk to anybody there, which honestly kind of would have been pretty fucking impossible, considering if I did have my own apartment out there, I'd probably be still working like the same serving job I'd been working for the last 5 years of my life that like I didn't really hate, but like I knew I wanted to get out of. I fucking quit there 3 fucking times. I went back each fucking time. Like it was such a toxic environment where like there's a lot of good benefits there, but you also kind of like hate your fucking time there. But oh, there's so many good people there, and oh, I have such a flexible schedule, and oh, like me and my boss were like so wishy-washy with each other, but at the same time we work together so well. It's crazy, right? And yeah, that was also just a super trapping thing that like I knew I wanted to get out of. And each time I quit, I would always end up working another restaurant job, which would be just so much fucking worse. And like that's kind of also why I went back to that same place, because every other job I worked, I was like, damn, like they all kind of just don't compare to California Roll and Sushi on Bean Boulevard in Bossier City, LA. Bossier City, Louisiana, my bad. But yeah, like everything in my life was actually pretty fucking toxic, and I had just kind of convinced myself that it wasn't that bad. And I know we all do that when we're in so much toxicity. And I'm also just like such a person who can like make light out of any darkness anyways. Like that's something I'd been really like learning how to do within the last couple years of my life, and just trying to remain like a calm, stable being in times of adversity. But it's like those weren't really times of adversity. You know what a fucking adversity I've actually been through now? this fucking move because I had to do it all by myself, and like I didn't have a lot of money and nobody came with me and like I had to take a fucking bus from my hometown to Dallas so that I could get on a plane on Spirit for cheaper, which didn't even end up being cheaper than flying out of my city, because I ended up having to pay for a fucking overweight bag fee, which like I kind of saw coming, but I was, holding out hope that I wouldn't have to and that everything would be just fine. But no, like that thing was 13 pounds overweight, so I had to pay $125 extra, which was not great. And yeah, like finding work out here, it's like been easy but like not easy at the same time. I know I could just work at any other restaurant if I want to, but that's the thing, man, is I really don't fucking want to. And I've also been healing from that, like doing work that I don't want to do. Like I realize that's okay, that you don't have to do that, even if like, it seems like it's the only way to get by. No. Not for me, not for Grace Rose Key, man. Like, no thank you. And another thing that I've actually been healing a lot with now, since being here, is also just my fucking relationship to manifesting and just my relationship with the fucking universe and God in general. Like, my faith, and faith is really what brought me here. It took a lot of faith to get here, man. And because like I didn't really have that back in September when I really wanted to come here. Like I had a little bit of it. It was just like, that strong feeling that like, oh, I need to leave. I need to get out of here. I need to change my environment, and hopefully that'll change my circumstances and my feelings. And yeah, I mean, that's not always like 100% true. Like everywhere you go, you take your problems with you. And that kind of came as a shock to me, honestly, leaving now at the time that I did, because when I got on that bus to Dallas, I was crying about things that like I thought I was over. Like I was crying about my ex, and we haven't spoken in months. He's blocked on everything. But I was just crying because I was like, damn, I wish I could talk to him right now and like tell him I'm actually doing this, because he knew I wanted to come here anyways. But yeah, I was just, like, oh man, like I wish we could have been friends, and like I could tell him about this and whatnot. I'm over that now. But I mean, I've had like a lot of thoughts about him back and forth this whole time I've been here anyways. So I think that's just still something I'm healing from anyways, naturally. And I also cried on the bus too about like my mom and like leaving her, because I felt really bad because we left on like not good terms. But once I told her what was happening, she understood, and she actually wasn't upset with me, and I was scared she would be, because we just always had like a really bad relationship. But I think honestly my relationship with her has been healing a little bit now since I've been away, and I always knew that that's probably the way that it was going to be for us to heal our relationship, is if I did get away, if I got my own fucking place, whether that be here or like my hometown. But I'm really glad I didn't get a place in my hometown, because like I said, I'd just probably have to be doing work that like I hate doing just to get by, and that just would have kept me in such a terrible mindset. I know it would also have kept me like super physically drained from ever like working on my creativity, especially since I'd like have to really like be paying my own rent and bills. And it's like, I know money is always such an easy thing to stress about, but like I'm healing my relationship with that too right now, especially since I did not come here with a lot of money in the first place. But like I said, my relationship to manifestation has been healing a lot, and I really like that. So I tend to not worry so much anymore about money or things like that. I try not to, at least, and I manifest myself not to, so I can actually be quite more abundant. And I've also just been feeling more abundant internally anyways, with coming to terms with who I am, and that I am a creative and deep and emotional loving person, and that's not a problem to be like that in this world, even if some people make it seem like it is. It's really not. It'll never be a problem to be kind to people. It'll never be a problem to give anyone like your whole heart, even if like they seem like they don't deserve it or anything. And it'll never be a problem to choose yourself. It'll never be wrong for you to go after the things you want. And that's like, I feel like I was kind of battling or arguing with myself and the universe on that before I actually made the move here, like the week of. I was just like going back and forth in my head about it a little bit. I was like, oh, I know that there might be like maybe like a 1 to 10% chance that this could not work out, and I end up coming back and whatever and feeling embarrassed or something. But at the same time, I was also just like, no, like this is what I like really want to do. Why would the universe really be mad at me for doing what I want to do? And that was like kind of something hard for me to hear at the time. I was saying it to myself, but now it's really like, dude, really, like you made it this far. You survived 1 month here. by yourself. It was not pretty, it was not easy, it was rocky, okay? But why would you didn't give up on yourself, you know? So like, why would the universe give up on you now? Like, why would it end right now? Like, you've come this far, and you didn't come this far just to come this far. I know we've all heard that before, but that's a real thing, man. And I've always like interpreted that in my life before with other things I've went through, but obviously this has been the hardest thing, which is so funny actually, you know, now that I think about it, because I feel like my breakup from like a couple months ago was the hardest thing I ever went through. I do know that that was still like the deepest and hardest heartbreak I've ever had to go through in my life. Really the deepest hurt, just like the worst like sudden shock of emotions and everything. But I kind of did have quite the sudden shock of emotions when I was moving here, obviously, like I said, on my bus trip. But this is actually the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, because I really did not know 100% that it was going to work, even if I kept telling myself that it was, that it has to, that I just want it to. And it's so fucking okay to just want something for yourself to work out. Like, that's like a thing I've been realizing too since being here, is that like back in my hometown, I just never felt like it was okay for me to want the things I wanted. And I know that really comes from like a lot of things, like especially like with just my relationship with my mom, and just like I felt like I had so many responsibilities placed on myself by living in her house and being her child for so long. And I'm not here to bash her or anything, but it's like that's really what the relationship was like. It was really not mom and daughter, it was like mom and dad more like, and you know, just figuring out things and money and stuff like that, and arguing about it all the time, and me just never really feeling like a kid for like pretty much all my life. I really feel like I didn't have a childhood for so long, and that I always had to kind of like parent myself too, because there was no father figure around, or if there was, he didn't, you know, feel like my father, and I don't even know my father. So it's like, what does that feel like? I've been my own dad and pretty much my own mom for my whole life too, because my mom kind of acted like a dad, but at the same time just wasn't really there a lot, like emotionally and physically. So yeah, I've always just like never really felt safe to just be me for a long time, or that it was safe for me to want the things that I wanted in life and like to express that. But now I'm realizing, god damn, like it is like and just like obviously like no matter who you're around, you should be able to express that freely and feel that freely and trust that freely. And it's like, wow, man, like it's for the first time ever I'm able to fucking trust myself. And that's what this whole journey has been about. And that's what really like, that's what like had me going. That's like what took me here, was like, you know what, I just really need to trust myself to see how far I can go with this. See if I can like actually pack all my stuff up and get on that bus. See if I can get on that plane. See if I can actually withstand being in a whole new environment on my own for the first time for a month in a whole new city that I've never actually lived in before, and see what can fucking come from it. See what I can make of myself. And that's what I was thinking, you know, coming here. I did not expect to not just, you know, see what I can make of myself, but also see what I can learn about myself and heal about myself and be, you know, about myself, and not even just be something in my career or just whatever, but just with me, just the time with me, just who I am, like when I talk to myself in my head, who I am when I like make these videos. And not that like when I make these videos it's all about like getting views and stuff. No, I make these videos for fucking me, man. Like if you watch my very first video, I'm pretty sure you can tell, because I think I said it in that video that I just need someone to fucking talk to. That's why I started this channel. That's why I started this podcast, because I had no one to fucking talk to, and just so much bullshit was going on, and I needed a friend at the time, and I felt like I had no one. Okay, so like that's the thing too, like with my mom even, like we were never really friends, so it's like not like I could come to her. I have like a really great aunt who feels more like a friend than a family member, so I would always come to her for things, but even at that time I couldn't, because like she just wasn't answering the phone. And anytime I did come and hang out with her and talk, it didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. Like, not because of her, like no, she was always been super welcoming of me and everything, and would always be down to talk, but it's just like like I just feel like I just really actually shouldn't be around someone right now, even if it's all that I want. And it's like such a weird thing to feel that way when you really have nobody. And like I also just feel like I've really never had anybody anyways, because like I said, never felt understood by anyone my entire life. But at that time when I really, really needed someone the most, that was also like the most I never really had anyone to be around for me. And that was like so fucking hard too, to just go through all the emotions I was going through all by myself and realize all the pieces of me I had to pick back up by myself. And it's like, I've done this before, obviously, like being someone who's been very, very alone their whole lives and been very misunderstood their whole lives. I've had to just get myself back together time and time again. I've been through like other types of heartbreak in my life before too, before this one, and other types of big sudden change, and just really had to pick up the pieces by myself. So it's like, I'm not new to that, but just like in the way that had happened, that was kind of like the first time it's been like that. That was the first version of that being a time for me to pick myself back up all by myself. And then here we are, like 6 months later, 7 months, 8 months, I don't know, however long it's been. After that, picking myself back up piece by piece all over again by myself, just in a new environment this time, and definitely, yeah, still very much like alone. I met some cool people though on this journey, but they haven't been really like sticking around, and that's okay. Like, I'm realizing I don't need them to. I've grown a lot more comfortable, even just like in recent years, getting used to like people not being in my life for a long time. But obviously, like I said though, I kind of had problems with that because I would just shapeshift to keep some people around. But you know, since coming out of that mindset, out of feeling like the need, like I have to do that just to keep a friend around, now it's like, man, now I really know like what it's like to like, now I really know what it'll be like to have like the real right friends around. And now I'll really know what it's like to not feel the need to fucking change for anybody, to stay. And obviously I know that those people weren't meant to stay anyways. I've made peace with that. But like, I would just always get kind of annoyed. The fact that like, oh my God, like everyone leaves in my life. They don't get to stay for very, very long. And I just got really tired of that. But now I'm like over that. Like, if we only know each other for a day, that's fine. If we have a great conversation, seems like we really connect, but I don't know you for like more than a couple days or a month, like that's fucking fine, man. Because you know what? I actually am fucking good on my own now. Like, look what I've fucking done for myself. Like, and not just this, but like, hello, like this channel, this podcast, diving deeper into my creativity, actually exploring it a lot more, feeling a lot more confident in it, feeling a lot more sure of myself in it, and just really being so much more authentic with my creativity. Like, this is the first time like where I've really been able to just let more loose in the things I do. Specifically with this podcast, but also in like any other creative endeavor I get into, like making music still, which is something I still love and still definitely want to be able to do for as long as I can. And I've been taking that a lot more seriously too, but like taking it seriously in a way where it doesn't feel so serious now, and I'm just able to be a lot more free in it, but still very, very me, and it feels a lot more like me, and I'm so much more like experimental with it, but in a way where it's like I'm not straying too far from who I am. It feels like I'm bringing myself closer in to who I am, and that's such a great feeling. And being able to feel that in like everything I do right now and everything I like and see and choose for myself now, it's the fucking best feeling ever. This has really strengthened my relationship to myself, and that is exactly what I needed. And I clearly didn't know that's what I needed, but I knew I always wanted it. And I thought I was getting it for so long, but no. And I would really like hate to like blame this all on my environment and everything, because it just seems like I'm like victimizing myself. But like, I mean, in a way I kind of was a victim, because it's not like I didn't ever voice my opinions on things and, you know, tell people who I am, who I want to be. It's just like, that's just how things were. It's just, I happened to end up in a life where like no one else around me really got me, and like that's okay. Like, that's just how things are for some people. Like, some people are blessed to have such a great support system early on in their life. I guess other people like me just really have to work for it and just find it in myself first in order to attract it. And that's okay, because like I may not have that support system just yet right now in other people, but honestly, just having it in just me right now, it's like still like a really, really great feeling. And I've literally never felt more fulfilled in my life before. And I know that that's really cool because I'm going to keep feeling more and more fulfilled as time goes on and as things grow in my life and all the things I choose for myself grow, all these seeds I've planted blossom and everything. And yeah, I feel like you'll just always be rewarded for choosing yourself. I think that's like the number one thing you can just trust in life is any decision you make for yourself. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Love you so much. Bye. Mwah.